For centuries, the moon looked close enough to inspire poetry and far enough to hide its secrets. We thought we knew what it was, a silent world, ancient, scarred, and mostly finished. A relic hanging over Earth, like a frozen witness to the past. But that old image, music, is starting to break apart, because China has just brought back something from the moon that does not fit comfortably inside the story we thought we were telling. And the unsettling music part is not just the discovery itself. It is what the discovery implies. If the moon still has hidden chemistry, hidden resources, music, and traces of a more dynamic history than we believed, then our nearest celestial neighbor is not a dead museum, music piece. It is a frontier. And whoever understands it first may change music, not just lunar science, but the future balance of power on Earth and beyond it. To understand why the world reacted so strongly, you have to understand what music China has been building toward for years. This was never one lucky mission, music, or one sudden leap. It was the result of a long, deliberate strategy. China's lunar program has music been moving step by step, turning what once looked like ambition into infrastructure. First came orbital missions, then landings, then the first landing on the far side of the moon, then sample return. Each mission looked impressive on its own, but together they formed something more serious, a sustained campaign to become one of the defining powers of lunar exploration. And that is what makes the latest discovery feel so different from a normal science headline. It arrived inside a much larger context. China is not just visiting the moon to plant flags or produce spectacular images. It is moving toward permanence, toward bases, resource, music use, and long-term strategic presence. So when a nation operating at that level announces a major lunar finding, people do not hear interesting data. They hear a possible shift in the future of space, because the moon is no longer being treated as a symbol. It is being treated as territory of consequence. Scientific consequence. Music, yes, but also economic, technological, and geopolitical consequence. That is why this discovery hit so hard. It was not just about what was found. It was about who found it, where they found it, and what they might be able to do with that knowledge. Next, what China's music mission uncovered was not just another rock or another confirmation of something scientists already suspected. Buried beneath the surface near music, the lunar South Pole region, the mission identified evidence of an unusual mineral composition unlike anything previously cataloged in the standard picture of lunar geology. That alone would have been enough to cause excitement, but it did not stop there. The mission also detected magnetic anomalies, suggesting that the moon's internal and geological history may be more dynamic than many old models allowed. That matters music, because one of the oldest assumptions about the moon is that it is geologically quiet in the deepest sense, old, cold, inactive, a place whose most dramatic chapters are long over. But if these anomalies are pointing to a more complex mineral history, music, and a more dynamic internal past, then the moon may not be as simple as the Dead World narrative made it seem. Its history may include music processes we still do not fully understand, and those processes may hold clues about how rocky worlds form, cool, and evolve. And once that happens, the moon stops being just a nearby object we happen to know well. It becomes scientifically dangerous again, the kind of place that can embarrass old theories by revealing that we were treating familiarity as understanding. We see the moon all the time. That does not mean we have actually finished learning what it is. The reason the moon's South Pole has become such a music obsession in recent years is not mysterious at all. It is because that region may hold the ingredients that transform the moon from a place humans visit into a place humans, music, can stay. The biggest of those ingredients is water ice. And China's mission added to the strongest evidence, yet that hydrogen-rich, music regions in the South Polar terrain are likely tied to real deposits of usable water ice. That is a game changer. Water in space is music, never just water. It is drinking supply, breathable oxygen, industrial chemistry, and rocket music, fuel waiting to be broken apart into hydrogen and oxygen. A base near stable water ice is not merely convenient. It is the difference between fragile exploration and sustainable presence. The moon's South Pole is not valuable because its music is dramatic. It is valuable because it may be survivable, and that changes the entire logic of lunar music exploration. Once water becomes accessible, the moon is no longer only a scientific destination. Music. It becomes a logistical platform, a fueling station, a manufacturing music site, a staging ground for deeper missions into the solar system. Mars starts looking different once the moon music can help support the journey. And suddenly the race is no longer symbolic. It becomes practical. Whoever controls access to the most useful regions of the moon may control the early architecture of music, the space economy itself. That is why the reaction in the United States and elsewhere has music been so intense. The moon is now being viewed not only as a scientific treasure, but as a strategic asset. Programs like Artemis were already pushing in music that direction, aiming not merely to land astronauts again, but to establish a durable music presence. But when China advances this quickly and starts producing discoveries that strengthen the case for resources, music infrastructure, and long-term value, the urgency changes. This is no longer just about who arrives music first. It is about who understands the moon first, who builds first, who extracts first, and who shapes the rules before those rules harden. International treaties, music, talk about shared benefit and peaceful exploration. But the reality is that enforcement is murky and incentives are growing. If the moon contains strategic minerals, helium, 3 potential water ice reserves, and new scientifically valuable materials, then every major power suddenly has reasons to move faster. And that music may be the deepest reason this discovery stopped the world, because it reminded everyone that lunar exploration is not a nostalgic replay of the Apollo era.